Let's talk about this book called Monster at Our Door by Mike Davis, and it's on the imminent threat of the bird flu. And I'm going to tell you why you should be reading this book while we're still in the coronavirus pandemic. Because what we've been seeing is viral evolution playing out on the second half viral evolutionary cycle. We're seeing how the coronavirus has jumped from an endemic species into a new host species, that new host species being us, humans. And we saw how when it first jumped to humans, it was the most virulent, causing the most symptoms and illnesses. And over time, as the different variants are coming out, the symptoms are getting more and more benign. And that is actually exactly what a virus endeavors to do as it becomes endemic, because it doesn't want to keep killing all of the new hosts that it's infecting. It wants to be able to maintain a stable reservoir population where it could ideally silently transmit between the different individuals, causing mild infections where it's not alarming on a population scale. At that point, this virus has become endemic. Now, this book, it talks about the first half of the viral evolutionary cycle, and that is the period of time before the virus jumps from a previously endemic population into the new one. Based on this book, that jump is forced by a combination of two factors. One being unsustainable mass agricultural practices, and the second one being anti-vaccine politics. Exactly how these two items fit together and play into a viral species jump, you're gonna have to read the book to find out, but I am here to just give you a little bit of biological background before you dive into the book. We all know at this point that viruses mutate to create new variants of itself. There's a faster way for entirely new strains of viruses to be made, and that's called genetic reassortment. And this is how it works. When multiple viruses of different strains infect the same host cell, their genomes are exposed and their genetic material can become mixed. This allows for combinations of entirely new viral strains to be made. Now, for influenza, since it is a single-stranded RNA virus, this type of genetic mixing happens quite frequently, and it's one of the ways that they think pandemic influenza viruses are created, because they're able to look at a new influenza strain and actually trace back to 3 to 4 pre-existing influenza viral strains. The thing is, when a new virus is being mixed in an animal that is previously within this endemic host species, this species has been harboring this virus with pretty mild symptoms, nothing too alarming, but now all of a sudden these animals will start to get really, really sick. And this is how biologists are able to track and figure out that potentially there is a new strain that is being bred, and potentially that strain can jump over to humans and become a future pandemic strain. This is where vaccines against this possible new strain should become a priority. This book talks about what happens when we see those warning signs and we ignore them. Let me introduce you to a new favorite book. How about it? Are you gonna read? There is a smart kitty. My cat says, read this book, Monster at Our Door by Mike Davis.